The heating and hot water as a percentage of total oil and electricity costs in 2008 represented 60.52%. 2009, with part of the year being run by the ground source heat, it dropped to 28.89%. Last year, 24.73%. This year, that figure is high because we haven't gone through the summer yet, which reduces the percentage. So you can see we've made a huge saving there already. So that's how I felt afterwards. We've been recording temperature and humidity throughout the house for years. So each room has its own columns, music room, we've got the temperature, the humidity. We have a sort of reconciliation with all, I put all the, it's not automatic, I might say, it's all still manual. We still have the little machines that read these things, and I put them all together in one dark room, and then I reconcile them all so they're all about the same, and we have pluses and minuses, which is what this column is. They put that in, and then it's automatically adjusted to give us the temperature and humidity across the range. These figures then are translated to the graphs. Well, these are the temperature readings in south front rooms and long gallery. And what you've got here, and I'll try to explain, these lines at the top of the various rooms, and then you have the exterior max and min temperatures. And this is done throughout the house. So we go on. Then you have the humidity readings. Now, I don't put the temperature in here, but before, the spikes were doing that. Now, they're much more constant, and we keep them within the, apart from up here, of course, within the prescribed 70 to 40 degrees, 40% rather. Moving back to another set of figures, we also record the electricity used in the intake room. Now this is total usage per day, day and night usage, rolling usage. You've then got the two heat pumps, this is the master unit and the slave unit. Now these have lots of figures. I'm not trying to baffle you, but these figures are important. It's only from these that we can tell if there's a problem, because these are the detail of how the system works. You've got the actual costs from the intake room and the costs of running the ground source heat, as I call it. Probably should call it water source heat, but anyway. You've then got the comments, and there are occasions when we have things like hot water and heat boiler added, though not called for. And this goes on, and we also, where I've put these red highlights in, is where we've noticed that the readings have gone too high. Why are they doing that? And that's when we react. And these are recorded every day. If we didn't do that, we wouldn't know where our problems were. We've also played around with the temperature. You should actually keep the, sorry, these aren't showing up very well, but the temperature that the master and the slave work at. I think the boys will be more technical when we come to going around the house. You can see when we switch off the heating with the little red thing, and when we have both of them running, there's a green one again. So as you can see, we do play around with it quite a bit, but we have only been using the hot water recently. Now these then are translated into the annual kilowatt usage and the output. So you've got the graph there showing how it's doing against last year, and you can't really see it, but basically we're running at less than last year. There's a further graph here, which is the usage against the external, internal temperature. So you can see they do actually, where the temperature goes up, these obviously drop. This is all good stuff, I mean, it's all good fun stuff. But these are the important figures. Now, I know it's very difficult for you to see these, but these are the house electricity and oil costs based on invoices. These are the cost comparisons year on year based on usage. That's from all the figures we've recorded. And then the heating and hot water as a percentage of total cost based on usage. And year on year, total cost comparison at this time. Now, I think these are the most interesting figures. In 2008, was nearly £30,000. 2009, 31, nearly 32,000. 2010, 24,000, nearly 25. And at the moment, we're running at 19,000. Now, you're all thinking, wait a minute, where's the electricity hike gone? What? And remember, we're not paying for any oil at the moment. Got no oil to pay for. And our costs have dropped. You're looking sceptical, some. There's a little secret here. We did negotiate with Gazprom to lower our electricity prices. So that helped. But even so, because the system runs so efficiently, and it keeps it constant, the temperature, well, as constant as we can, keeps the temperature constant, we don't use as much electricity as we were using. However, I should add, we insulated the whole house. So, Peter, we are insulated properly now. And we have been for how long, Claire? Since March last year, so over a year. So that's made a huge difference. Insulation is very important. Secondly, you won't be surprised to hear that we have an awful lot of light bulbs here. And they were using a huge amount of electricity. And again, around the same time, we replaced all, actually no, later, we replaced all picture lights, all about 220 of them. We replaced them with LED picture lights, which have been specially made for, they combine, if you put an incandescent next to it, you wouldn't notice the difference. They are marvelous. But they're using a tiny amount of the electricity that the old incandescents used. We replaced all the standard light bulbs. And we're going through the process again, and Robert Parker, I think, is here somewhere, yes. Robert's the technical advisor of the HHA, and he and I and the National Trust have been working together to see whether we can actually find LEDs to replace all these candles, bulbs here, that sort of thing. And again, we think we may have found it. They're made in China, but we've got to go through testing. Sorry, that's a bit of an aside, but if you want to talk about light bulbs, I know it's very sad, isn't it? But talk to Robert or me. But you have to think, all these combinations of, looking at renewables, cutting costs, cost reduction is important. Those figures prove it can be done. They prove it can work. I'll look at that one. But this is the panel that we produce for everyone to see, the public to see. It's the cost per annum, the heating and hot water percentage, etc., etc. So all these figures add up to a very happy me. I can actually go back to the board, even though I'm chairman and managing director of it, and say, look, facilities, we're keeping our costs down. And we have to. If we don't, we can't continue. There's no way. We have to make more money in our retail areas, our house opening and so forth, but we have to keep our costs down. And that, it doesn't matter whether you're open to the public or not, running these houses is hugely expensive. Unless we can see ways of reducing those costs and actually still maintaining collections, and that's the most important thing from our point of view as well, is maintaining these collections in the best way possible, and being able to show English heritage, etc., that we are looking after them properly, then I have to say I think we're going in the right direction. We're not there yet, but we've certainly gone as far as we can.